O judgment of judgment and the punishment of sinners. In all things look to the end, and how thou wilt stand before the severe judge, to whom nothing is hid, who is not appeased with gifts nor adamant excuses, but will judge according to right. O wrecked and foolish sinner, who sometimes art in terror at the countenance of an angry man, what answer wilt thou make to God, who knoweth all thy wickedness? Who dost thou not provide for thyself against the day of judgment, when no man can be excused or defended by another, but every one shall be a sufficient burden for himself? Now is thy toil fruitful, thy weeping acceptable, thy groaning audible, thy grief passeth God, and purgeth thy soul. The patient man hath a great and wholesome purgatory, who though he receives injuries, yet grieveth more for the malice of others than for his own wrong, who prayeth willingly for his adversaries, and from his heart forgiveth their offenses, who is not slack to ask forgiveness from others, who is sooner moved to compassion than to anger, who often thus doeth violence to himself, and laboureth to bring the flesh wholly into subjugation to the spirit. It is better to purge out our sins and cut off our vices here, than to keep them to be purged away hereafter. Verily, we deceive our own selves through the inordinate love we have for the flesh. What is it that the infernal fire shall feed upon but the sins? The more thou sparest thyself now and followest the flesh, so much the harder hereafter shall be thy punishment, and the greater fuel for burning thou storest up. In what things a man hath sinned, in the same shall he be the more grievously punished. There shall the slothful be pricked forward from burning goals, and the gluttons be tormented with vast thirst and hunger. There shall the luxurious and lovers of pleasure be bathed in burning pitch and stinking brimstone, and the envious, like raging dogs, shall howl for very grief. There is no sin but shall have its proper torment. The proud shall be filled with all confusion. The covetous shall be pinched with miserable penury. Their 1 hour of pain shall be more severe than 100 years of servant penance here. Server's penance here. There is there no quiet, no comfort for the damned. Yet here we have the respite of our labors and enjoy the comfort of our friends. But now anxious and sorrow because of thy sins, that at the day of judgment thou mayest be secure with the blessed. For then shall the righteous with great boldness stand against such as have straitened and oppressed him. Then shall he stand for judgment, who doth now humbly submit himself to the judgment of men. Then shall the poor and humble have great confidence, but the proud man shall be compassed with fear on every side. Then will it be seen that he was wise in this world, who have learned for Christ to be a fool and despised. Then shall every affliction patiently suffered delight us, when all iniquities shall shut her mouth. Then shall every devout man be glad, and every profane one shall mourn. Then the flesh which hath been beaten down shall more rejoice than if it had been always nourished in delicacies. Then shall the poor attire shine gloriously, and the fine wrought raiment shall grow dim. Then shall be more commendable the poor cottage than the gilded palace. Then will constant patience more avail us than all the power of the world. The simple obedience shall be more highly extolled than all worldly craftiness. Then shall a good and clear conscience more rejoice a man than learned philosophy. Then shall the contempt of riches weigh more than all the worldly treasures. Then wilt thou be more comforted that thou hast prayed devoutly, that thou hast fared daintily. Then wilt thou be more glad that thou hast kept silence than thou hast talked much. Then will holy works avail more than many fair words. Then a strict life and severe penance will be more pleasing than all earthly delights. Accustom thyself now to suffer a little, that thou mayest then be delivered from more grievous pains. Prove first here what thou canst endure hereafter. If now thou canst bear so little, how wilt thou then be able to endure eternal torments? If now a little suffering makes thee so impatient, what will hellfire do hereafter? Behold, surely thou canst not have two paradises, to enjoy the lights in this world, and after that to reign with Christ. Suppose thou hadst till this day lived always in honors and delights. What would all this avail thee if it befell thee to die at this instant? All therefore is vanity, but to love God and serve him only. For he that loveth God with all his heart is neither afraid of death, nor punishment, nor of judgment, nor of hell. For perfect love gives secure access to God. But he that delighteth to sin, what marvel is it if he fear both death and judgment? Yet it is good, although love be not yet of force to call thee back from sin, that at least the fear of hell should restrain thee. Now he may that layeth aside the fear of God can never continue long in good estate, but runneth quickly into the snares of the devil.